I'm Ryan Walker.
And I'm Ted Karstensen.
Welcome to Studio A and our reminiscences of Notes from Underground.
Yes, we like to call this show Meet the Producers.
Yes, this show is called Meet the Producers.
That's who we are. We're the co-producers of Notes from Underground, a live music show that was, 75, 80 episodes?
Somewhere in between there. Yeah, we're not exactly sure how many there were. That's how amazing it was. So we're going to talk about the history of Notes from Underground while we introduce the episode that won an award this year for the Hometown Video Awards, which was the ZAP episode. So we'll take you all the way back to the beginning, talk about the highs, the lows, the tears, the triumphs, and everything in between. Ted?
Well, let's see. The first episode of Notes from Underground was actually on my first day as an intern here at CAT. And
that's how we do.
It was a mess. I somehow convinced Ryan that we needed to move the audio board from the control room, where you could easily hear without getting mixed up with the sound in the room, into the live room, because that's how I was used to doing it. And
we believed him. Like, sure, you know what you're doing.
We moved it all, we rerouted all the cables, and when the band came, immediately realized that it just was not going to work. But we didn't have time to switch everything back, so we just kind of went with it.
There's a long period where, was it that we couldn't get the monitors to work? Or it was like a very stressful 45 minutes where everybody and their brother was at the soundboard trying to fix something.
Yeah, it was band, I think it was SRE, which is a jam band, bunch of guys that have been around Columbia for a long time. They've all been around sound equipment, and we had 4 or 5 people flipping every switch on this board, and we could not, for the life of us, figure out how to make it so that the sound coming out of the board would go to the monitors and not to the house speakers. It was terrible.
So we'll go back a little further even to when you were, the first time I met you, you came down with Chip Cabrera, and you met the staff, and we took a tour down here, and I think I was saying, yeah, we're going to be doing this music show, blah, blah, blah. We don't quite know how we're going to do it. He's like, well, yeah, I'm a sound guy. I run sound at the Blue Fugue. I'm like, well, that's big. That helps. So that probably wouldn't have happened because we didn't really know what we were going to do for sound. It's a music show. We hadn't really figured out the music sound part of it yet. So that's also how we do here at CAT. So the first episode was SRE?
I think so.
The second episode was the death metal band. I've got the list right here.
What,
all right.
What was it?
I'm going to control. I can't remember. Second band was, it was Joe Louis Band, and then Intracranial Butchery. That was pretty epic.
Set the tone, really.
Yeah.
Notes from Underground was open for anyone who heard about it and wanted to come down. All you had to do was call and sign up, and we took everyone. There was no one that we turned away.
Yeah, I think that was a neat idea behind it. Before that, we did a show with a different set before Studio B was renovated, Columbia Bandstand, but that was sort of our friends' bands and by invite only, and so this was a different thing. We're a public access channel, so it's an open stage, no demos required, no gatekeepers. Nobody's going to say you're not cool enough to play here. So
yeah,
we had the best bands and everybody else in town play here. So
yeah, it was also a really great opportunity to get a big crew together and go through all kinds of training. We were really trying to think of a cool way to get people down into the room so that we could teach them how to use the stuff. And Notes from Underground, come down and shoot a live band. That was pretty cool. It wasn't, you got to be really creative with camera angles, and you got to learn how to run sound for a big group. And it was something we didn't really have anything else like it for people to come down and learn the stuff. So it was a big hit with volunteers. And then there were times when we didn't have volunteers, and it was a rough show, and you're running, 2 people doing the whole thing.
Because the band shows up, and they're expecting a production, and if there's just 1 staff or 2 staff, we'd make some phone calls, and people would help out. Favorite moments? Head Williams was a good one.
That was a great episode.
It was July 5th, 2009. I don't know why I remember that.
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
But that was a huge, that had there were costumes, there was a huge crowd. We had to plan the production because we knew there was going to be 10 or 15 people. So we had to route all the cables into one specific place. And we had a stage at the time, which was a terrible idea, but all these people were running around the stage, and we had green screen going.
It was the first green screen shoot ever.
And it
At
was
Cat.
awesome. At Cat, yeah. It was awesome.
We invented green screen.
We had like it started with like a theatrical opening where they chased our intern,
Wes.
That was awesome. That was a great show.
We discovered that fog machines and green screen don't necessarily work that well together.
Yeah,
So,
it kind of messes up the key.
there were also some other side effects of key that we discovered in that one, because we had strobing LEDs going on,
Yeah.
one of which the colors happened to be green, so every time the green color came up, that was a key.
Yeah, because at the time we didn't know how to switch between cameras and remove the key. So it was either the key was on and any green that was in the shot was being knocked out, or the key was off and no green was being knocked out. And so what the drummer, I think, had like a big lizard head that was painted green, so even when he was on screen, you couldn't see his face. It would just be something else.
We used to be so foolish back in the day here at CAT. Armin Karabegovic, another favorite episode. That was just, I think it was myself and Michael Miller.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that.
Were the only people. 2 people. It was Mike Miller's first show directing. He had just taken the class, and he comes in to direct a shoot right after the class, and it's just me and him. So, but we had a great time because Armin did an awesome set. He followed up some Bosnian folk songs with some Elvis and some Sam Cooke, and we just couldn't believe it. It's an amazing performance. ZAP. Let's talk about ZAP. You know these guys.
ZAP, it's a local funk band. ZAP stands for Zero Antiperspirant, straight funk. So they've been together for 2 or 3 years, and since the beginning of the show, I was asking them to come down, and it's a big band. There's 5 or 6 people, and they keep growing. They've got a new horn player, and they just keep growing. So it was hard to get them to have their schedules line up. Finally, we got them all to come down, and
they were bickering the whole time.
Yeah,
setting up in good fun.
They're a band, you know. they have, you know.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of people, a lot of personalities, a lot of talent in the band too. They're all very talented. So,
good stuff.
I think that this was in between the release of their first album and the release of their second album, which came out late last year. So there's a lot of mixture of like their older stuff with some of the newer stuff with the newer members. Notably, Jacqui, who's the female singer, adds a lot of high end to the mix, a lot of soul. So great band, local favorites, and we decided to submit that show to the ACM Hometown Video Awards, which is a national public access PEG group, and they put on a video award. So it's like was it Grammys for TV or?
Sure, that works.
Grammys. It's like the Grammys for public and government access. So we submitted it, and
yeah, this episode just it was a band that you don't see every day. We tried to pick something that looked good, that the sound was good, and the camera work was interesting, and that it wasn't a lame. Not that any of the bands were lame.
No.
But this band was particularly interesting. A lot of people, a lot of look, a lot of energy. So it seemed like a good episode to do, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So Robbie Shepard, Dan Northup, Justin Gregory. Who else? This one's for them.
Sam Cooke, I think, might have been there.
Sam Cooke was there. Sam Ott did a lot of these. I'm just trying to think of people who were there a lot.
Yeah. Wes.
Wes Duplantier. Mark. What was the guy?
Mark Naiman was
Dave.
here.
Dave Bunton.
Dave Bunton.
Mark
a
did
lot
a
of
bunch.
Stevens students were here in the early days. They were our main source of camera people.
Aaron Little. Chase did several. Chase Thompson. Mike Miller. Logan Lemon. Anybody else? Nobody else.
I can't really think of their names. So many. So anyway.
So, Sean Brown, this one's for you. Thanks a lot, buddy.